Reminded me of when I was doing graduate school in London last year, and I was working part-time as a server at this really upscale Mexican restaurant in Chelsea. And as you can imagine, there are a lot of Spanish immigrants in the UK and in London especially. So a lot of the clientele that we would have would be very wealthy folks, and the Spanish folks were just insufferable. And I specifically remember getting a party of about 8 or 7 Spanish folks. And obviously, you speak Spanish to them. I was very excited because I, for the most part, have always had a very good image of Spanish people because I have family in Spain. I have family in Madrid. I'm not Spanish. My aunt is Mexican and moved to Spain, so a lot of familiarity with the culture overall. But this was my first time being confronted with objectively Spaniards, and let me just tell you guys. So anyways, I began to take the order in Spanish. They had no suspicions of me being anything but Mexican. They asked me where I was from, and I said I'm Mexican. And so I told them this, and, they were like oh, that's amazing, that's cool, like, good for you, and I took the order in Spanish. Everything went well. I repeated the order back to them. I had never had one single mess up in this job while I was working there, ever. And then about 10 minutes later, they get their first few dishes, and they got like 2 or 3 dishes. And my manager called me over. He was very pissed. He was telling me that's not what they had ordered. And I said, what do you mean? I went over their menu with them about 3 or 4 times. I did it exactly what they ordered. And so the manager just told me, oh, okay, just wait, let me go and check in with them. And then when he came back to me, his face was fuming. He said, the entire order that you took is wrong, all of it. And I just sat there with my arms crossed, and I just thought to myself, excuse me, this is not wrong. And so I took the initiative and I walked back to their table. And I kid you not, you guys, amongst themselves, they were giggling, laughing in Spanish, just saying things that it's been a year and a half later, and I'm still kind of very bothered by that incident. And so obviously my main instinct was to fix the issue. So I go back and I tried to ask them, what exactly had to just happen? How did I get their order wrong? We went over it multiple times. What happened here? And I hear them speaking broken English, Spanish amongst themselves, laughing until something in me snaps, and I just ask them in plain American English, excuse me, but what did I get wrong with your order? Because I had went over this order with you multiple times. They literally sat there and maybe in shock because I had just snapped at them in English. And they were just starting to cower and looking a bit more and I'm not stupid. That's when it clicked in my head. And then one of the guys, he said again, a very broken accent, he looked at me kind of intimidated, scared, and he said, oh, no, you're fine. It was just one dish. And I will always remember the girl next to him still laughing, and I can't even begin to explain to you guys the anger, the visceral anger that I felt, which isn't surprising at all. And after that incident, I told my manager, hey, you can deal with them. I'm not going to deal with them. I don't have enough time in